But it looks like, as described, Colin has surfaced in Ann Arbor for the spring game. And he is an honorary captain for the spring game, or the maize and blue, or the yellow and blue game, whatever they call it. But whether or not you're a fan of Kaepernick, and whether or not you agree with kneeling during the national anthem, and whether or not you agree with his social justice protests, I think one of the cool things is that this picture, and Colin being in Ann Arbor, it shows Jim's loyalty, and we know that Jim is fiercely loyal to players. We saw that he was fiercely loyal to Don Brown. We saw that he's fiercely, when he picks a quarterback, he usually sticks with his quarterback. But I think this is cool, just showing that he's loyal even to his former players. And the question is always there: why did Colin's production decline in San Francisco? We know that the roster turned over. All those veterans who were there when he got there, they either got hurt and retired, or they just didn't re-sign them. But his ascension as a quarterback, it didn't continue under Jim's watch. So that's always going to be a head scratcher. Is Jim a good quarterback's coach, or did Colin just not have the goods at all? But it's a good story. It's a good story. And Jim's loyal, and I think that it's good for the current Michigan players. John Stoops says Cap was the wrong choice. Certainly a very polarizing figure. Certainly, regarding Cap, is it what happened to him in the NFL? Did he do all of the protests, because he legitimately wanted to do those protests, or was it to cover up for the fact that he was going to get released anyway? Was it all just a distraction to cover up for the fact that his career was tanking? Who knows? I mean, is it right for him to not have a job in the NFL now? Who knows? That's something where the audience, everyone's going to feel differently about that, but the audience, you all should decide that for yourselves. This was written by Angelique Shengilis of the Detroit News. If any of you follow Michigan sports, if you follow Michigan sports on Twitter, you know that in addition to John U. Bacon, Angelique is one of the top media people in terms of covering Michigan football and Michigan sports. So this reads as follows. Colin Kaepernick, the former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, who in more recent years has been known for social activism and his stance on racial injustice, will be back on the football field this weekend. I know that just chaps Abdul Gaines' hide. Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick is the honorary captain of Michigan's spring football game on Saturday at Michigan Stadium. The program announced Wednesday on Twitter. What's also interesting about that is that I think last season, Jimbo and the athletic department, they kind of had a closed door atmosphere for the spring game. So I don't think anyone was really let into the spring game aside from a choice few and those photographers who took those pictures that I used in some of my content. So this year, it seems like it's more of an open door type of thing where they want the publicity. 3 photos were included in the post. One of Kaepernick holding a number 7 Michigan jersey with his name. Another of him posing with returning starting quarterback Cade McNamara. And another of him speaking to the team. So this is the tweet that I saw. It says, this is from Michigan Football. It says, football family, excited to share the field with our honorary captain for Saturday's Maize and Blue spring game at Kaepernick number 7. Let's see. So that got, it's not showing the retweets. Sometimes people turn sometimes they lock their accounts, so you can't get to the tweet, but looks like there were 18,900 comments. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh coached Kaepernick at the San Francisco 49ers during his coaching tenure from 2011 to 2014. Kaepernick helped lead the 49ers to the 2013 Super Bowl. And remember, guys, they almost won that. If Cap and the 49ers offense had had a better first half against Baltimore, they probably would have won the game. But they started cold, and then they had to come back in the second half. But they came back, and they almost won that game. And, of course, it came down to the fade route. He threw to, I think it was Crabtree. And Jim was arguing for the pass interference call that he didn't get. So they almost won the Super Bowl. And if Cap and Jimbo win that Super Bowl, of course, everything else probably changes after that. Harbaugh took over the Wolverines in 2015, and Kaepernick hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL since 2016. In an interview with Rich Eisen 2 years ago, Harbaugh said he and Kaepernick communicate every few weeks. During the 2016 NFL season, Kaepernick sparked controversy and conversation across she probably meant the country, with his decision to kneel during the national anthem performed before games. In August 2016, Harbaugh was asked his opinion of Kaepernick kneeling during the first 3 preseason games that season. I acknowledge his right to do that, Harbaugh said at the time, but I don't respect the motivation or the action. Not long after making the comment, Harbaugh took to Twitter to offer a clarification. I apologize for misspeaking my true sentiments, he wrote. To clarify, I support Colin's motivation. It's his method of action that I take exception to. If you recall, Jim was a lot more active on Twitter years ago. And then according to John Eubacon's last book, End Zone, Jim decided to take a step back from Twitter. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. I want this one to be a little more interactive. Abdul Gaines, if you got more, please give us more.